He's gonna come up and kind of walk us through and lead us through it. And you'll hear about Yes, appreciate you.
Testing, testing, testing without our microphone. Can anyone hear me? If we do it this way,
Go ahead.
testing.
Yes, you're good. You're good. Like, we hear you.
Okay.
Hi,
Do we
Bonnie.
have audio? Last chance.
One more
Opening
test.
it up.
Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Everybody doesn't wait on the same bus, they walk to the Plymouth bus to get the Plymouth, to reach the work.
That's connected.
And
Thank you all for your patience. We will get to you in one moment. In person, Mr. Kramer is talking to a participant. Once that wraps up, we are gonna do a restart.
Yes. Me too. That's my commitment is it's gonna get better. Okay. Are we ready? Yes. Yes. Yep.
Got it, or you get this kind of pick up from there, or should I just got away with that? Test it, they said they could hear now.
Okay.
It won't be able to-
Sorry, Kristen. Playing the part of
I need to be-
computer podium.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, welcome everyone again. We're gonna start over. For those of you in person, you're gonna hear this for the second time, but now our friends online can hear as well. So I'm Robert Kramer. I'm the Executive Director of DDOT. This evening, we have kind of a three-part program in place. And I'm going to explain what it is and why. So the first part of this program is going to be federally required public hearings for service changes that we are considering for our next service change, which would be effective September 1st. I will say, as I've said to the group here in person, that these are, we're going through this process so that these changes have the public input and could be implemented. Does not require us to implement them in September. If we feel we don't have the drivers and the equipment to meet that schedule, we could postpone them and implement them in the future. But this is the part of the hearing about what these, the schedule changes would be. We're gonna limit the comments to just this because this is the official public hearing process. Once we complete this, then we're gonna have a brief update about our camera project. We have a required information piece for that, so just take a couple of minutes. Ricky is here for that part. And then when that's done, which again shouldn't take too long altogether, we will open it up for a full community input meeting where any topic can be brought up and discussed. The questions could be asked. We started that a little bit while we were waiting to work out these issues, but we'll open it back up again afterwards. And we'll be here until all of the comments and discussion are complete, or at least you all don't have to stay for all that time, but we will be here for it. So with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Ayabami for the official public hearing process. You're gonna hear from Maisie about what these proposed changes are. We're looking for feedback from. Then we'll complete that process with comments just on these changes. Then we'll move on to phase 2 and 3. So,
Okay, testing to make sure everyone can still hear me. Thank you, Mr. Kramer. As mentioned, we're gonna go into the public hearing portion. As a reminder, by participating in the Zoom meeting, you are granting permission for your name, image, likeness, as well as audio and video recordings to be used by DDOT. To request a comment, you would use the raise hand feature that will be available. The dial *9, if you are using the dial in only, of course, that's the phone option. You could just enter *9 to serve as that raise hand feature to request to speak or ask a question. You will be able to submit your questions or comments to the DDOT staff. Again, at this time, it will be only those related to the public hearing, and that will be open during that time. Before asking a question or comment, be sure to unmute your audio, state your name and organization for the record, and following your comments, you will please mute your audio. But DDOT is proposing a set of frequency improvements for implementation for September 1st. Again, this date is subject to change based on service availability that was mentioned earlier. In tonight's public hearing, we will provide details on the proposed September changes. We'll ask for feedback during the public comments section. As a reminder, with this public hearing, all your public comments will be recorded and we will not be able to make an immediate response to any concerns or questions. Again, this is during this public hearing portion. During the official public hearing, we will not allow for the comments or questions that are pertaining to the proposed service. We will allow for those. However, we will be holding, again, if you missed it, a hybrid monthly community input meeting following this section of the official public hearing, where all your comments and questions will be heard. I'm going to turn it now to my colleague, Maisie, to go into detail.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maisie Melton. I work with Service Development and Scheduling. I'm going to walk through the September service enhancements. These are the 9 routes with proposed changes. I'm going to talk through each change individually. So,
Okay, speak a little bit closer.
okay, hi. So first we have Chicago Davidson and Schoolcraft. Weekday based frequency will increase from every 60 minutes to every 45 minutes. Weekday peak frequency will increase from every 45 minutes to every 30 minutes. Weekday base frequency will increase from every 50 minutes to every 40 minutes. Weekday peak frequency will increase from every 45 minutes to every 30 minutes. And on Saturdays, the route will run every 40 minutes. On Hamilton, weekday base frequency will increase from 60 minutes to every 40 minutes. And weekday peak frequency will increase from every 40 minutes to every 30 minutes. On Joy, weekday peak frequency will increase from every 50 minutes to every 35 minutes. Lastly, we have Livernois, Plymouth, Schaefer, and Wyoming. All 4 routes will see weekday base frequency increases from every 60 minutes to every 45 minutes. And weekday peak frequency increases from every 45 minutes to every 35 minutes. And that's all for the changes.
Thank you, Maisie, for those changes. You can provide your public comment verbally tonight so that it will be recorded into public record. You must state and spell your name for the record before providing your comment. You will be given 2 minutes. If you would like to make a comment after today, you have until August 16th. Please provide those comments by email, d.comments@detroitmi.gov, by U.S. Postal Service. Attention, September 2025 hearing. Detroit Department of Transportation, 100 MAC, Detroit, Michigan, 48201. Of course, all this information will be online and this presentation will be available later to you as well. If you have any questions, please call our customer service, 313-933-1300. These changes are again proposed to go into effect for September 1st, pending the appropriate availability of operators and vehicles. DDOT will communicate final details of communicate details of the final September 1st service changes by August 18th. We are going to now take public comments. We are going to, I think, attempt to do the online comments first. Again, you will be given 2 minutes. Due to our technical issues, we will let you know when that time is up. So just bear with us for a moment if you want to raise your hand to give your public comment. For those in person, we will get to you next. Go ahead and unmute and we can see if you can hear you.
Good afternoon. For the record, my name is Renard Mushansky, RenardMonczunski. Wanted to speak to the changes that are proposed for September. I definitely agree with the proposed change for the Joy Road. Every 35 minutes, that's a really significant positive change. And also for the 4th Street, I've been hearing complaints from community that it doesn't run frequently. So this new proposed time for the 4th Street is acceptable. However, in the future, when the department has these updates, it will be helpful to the public to define base time versus peak hours as well, so we can more accurately speak on the changes. However, with all the changes that are proposed, they're very positive. They increase frequency, and we hope that some of the routes that have 35 or 45-minute frequency will be even faster in the future. That concludes my public statement.
Thank you, Renard. We're gonna take a phone call next, ending with 577. What? Yes. Five, seven, seven, are you talking?
I beg your pardon?
Okay, we can hear you now. Would you like to state your comment?
Yes, I was have some issues with DDOT. I was wondering, is this the right time to state those issues, or is it about just for today?
Oh, we are taking the public hearing comments now, which are just for the service changes. But if you stay on, we will have the opportunity to give other comments.
Okay, all right.
All right, so we'll go to the next person. Mr. Cunningham?
Three one four 9114. 313-444-9114. That number was made so you can remember it. It's also my cash app. All right, so I like the changes. I'm out in the streets on east, west, north, and south. I'm concerned because the Woodward and other thoroughfares are having waits of an hour or so. And I was hoping that these service changes can go into effect. But I'm concerned that after the stabbing and the shooting incidents with DDOT, are drivers leaving? Are they not coming into work? Because all around the city, it's been like total chaos for like a week, about a week and a half, where the buses aren't coming on time. So I hope you guys have enough drivers, and they already got 50% retention when it comes to the drivers. When they get trained, they go other places. So I hope it's not getting worse. And then just an idea about these service changes. It should be ambassadors riding the coaches, letting people know on those lines, or just ride down those lines, put laminated signs up about the changes, like Joy Road, up and down Joy Road, an ambassador and signs, 4th Street, an ambassador and laminated signs, letting folks know about the changes. Direct marketing to those that the changes will affect. Great job. Hopefully there's enough drivers to make this happen. Thank you, Mr. Iabami, for answering my phone calls. And Mr. Kramer, you always earn my prayers. You're a good guy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
The next hand up is Miss Marguerite.
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. It is a good service change. But what about all the other changes? What about the Woodward line? What about the Hampton line? The Dusty line, the Linwood line, and the Finkel line. What about those lines? And then I would like to make another comment after this one, because in regards to the buses not pulling close to the curb. So I am going to address that later. Okay? I'm done.
Thank you. The next hand up is Rudolph.
Good evening. My name is Rudolph Marco, and I am a retired city bus driver. So I'm asking this question of when I was a driver for almost 30 years. So I'm kind of aware of some of the mechanics that go on behind the scenes. And well, before I say that or ask the question, I just want to offer my prayers to the drivers who suffered the assaults and hope that the department and the city are undertaking to really examine those causes and hopefully put some preventative measures in place so that that can be reduced in the future. But the two of the issues that you raised in terms of increasing the frequency was, of course, driver availability and coach availability. And I was wondering what specifically were you doing to actually make those two things actually happen? I don't know if you can answer that now, or is that something that you put forward down the road? But coach availability has a lot to do with how coaches are maintained and where and when mechanics are on duty in order to actually repair buses that need to be repaired at the time that they best service the road. They have them sit longer than necessary because mechanics are not on duty. Has to do with how contracts are written up and what times they're actually on the clock versus what time the buses are actually in the garages to be serviced. And obviously, bus drivers have to feel they're in an environment that promotes them being appreciated and being compensated appropriately and having the support of the system that they work for. So those are, to me, a couple of the elements that need to be addressed as you make these schedule changes. And my old friend who just got finished speaking, I used to carry her on the Dexter bus quite frequently. And I'm glad to see she's still out there riding. More power to you, and get those buses back up to the frequency that they used to be as soon as possible.
Thank you. That's 2 minutes. The next hand up is calling user 1.
Can I be heard?
Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Good evening. I wanted to know, can you tell us what changes is going to be happening and on what routes? And I also want to say I have questions that I'll wait till after you all are done, so that I can bring that to this body's attention. But what bus routes are going to be changed, and is there going to be any change with the Dexter and Linwood, since you all changed it instead of letting it go to Northland? Now you have it going to Myers. There was no flyers put up to let people.
Okay, just to clarify, right now, we're just taking public comments about the proposed service changes. The next hand up is a phone number ending in 169.
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you all for praying for Brother Cunningham. I got the message for this meeting off of his Facebook page. Everybody should look at his Facebook page and see all the people he blesses. Yes, he blesses. Yes, he blesses. Yes, he blesses. Also on his Facebook page, there's an article by Bridge, Michigan. Everybody Google Bridge, Michigan, Cunningham. Check it out.
Have any
It helps
comments about the
people apply
proposed
for it.
service changes?
No, ma'am.
Okay, the next hand up is Lewin.
Yes, it's Lewin. Can you hear me? Hello? Yes, hello?
We can hear you now. Can you please start over?
Oh, yes, this is Lewin Anderson. I really want to have the free speak part or question at the end of the webinar. I just want to, make a comment about the proposed times. I think people just need to, be updated on that. Most of them are increasing. That's it. Thank you. I'll wait until the next questions are answered or asked. Appreciate you.
We're going to take in-person comments about the proposed service changes for September.
Test, there you go. Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Robert Plowski. I'm a long transit advocate, also a DDOT rider, and I reside in Southgate. Today, I want to comment specifically on one of the routes that's going to see a proposed service change, and that is 19 Don't. I'm very concerned specifically why the 19 Fort has not seen a service increase since the last proposal of service changes. If you look at other routes, we have so much potential to expand other routes that need it the most. And Fort Street is one of those. I'm a regular rider on 19 Fort, and it went from 60 minutes, then you bumped it down to 40 minutes, and then on peak periods, it's now down to 30 minutes. There are people in Southwest Detroit that need the service in those communities, especially in Downriver, that need that connection in all of Taylor, all of Southgate, all of Lincoln Park to get from point A to point B and be able to connect downtown. Now, if there was a fast bus on Fort Street, in which there is not, I would understand the service changes going into that phase. But right now, there is no service that meets the demand for half the riders and residents down there than what there is now. Every bus is normally late, or it's never on time, or it doesn't show up. Southwest Detroit and 48217 needs better than what the service is being proposed on September 1st needs now. That is my only concern I have with this plan. Other than that, I'm very impressed to see a lot of the other service changes in all the other districts that are seeing a service increase with the capacity that you guys have. So other than that, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Good evening, folks. My name is Lucas Lasecki. That's spelled Lukas, last name Lasecki, and I'm with Transportation Riders United. I think that the new proposed changes are all very positive steps. I've said at a few previous meetings that there was a lot of need to increase the frequency in some of these hourly routes to better serve the already underserved areas of the city of Detroit, and I think that the proposed changes here will do just that. I've mentioned the Livernois by name a few times, and I think it may have seen one or two increases to like peak hour frequency over the past few months, but having having additional service on these underserved corridors is definitely a positive step. However, I share the concern echoed by a few of the riders here that DDOT has sort of struggled to deliver the previous service changes with reliable on-time service. There's been talk for many years of a summer slump where DDOT service gets less reliable over the summer, and it seems like it's happening again this year. I believe it was about a month ago that my colleague Joel here and we did a couple of ride-alongs with candidates for mayor of Detroit, and we were left waiting for half an hour for the Jefferson bus and then half an hour for the Woodward bus in the same day. So there are definitely reliability issues that need to be addressed as these new changes are implemented. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. This is Esther Hagebook, and I'm happy to see these proposed changes. I've talked to many people, particularly in District 5, regarding transit and how important it is for students going to school and to work. So thank you for that. I am concerned about the comment that these proposed changes are based on buses that are, or coaches that are available and drivers. And so I'm wondering if funding has been allocated for these proposed changes. I'm wondering if you are already making the steps to make sure that drivers and coaches are available as you make the proposal. That's so important. I would hate for people to come and get their hopes up that there's a change without taking the necessary steps. So that's my question. And how do we improve it? And how do we get those funds to you if they are not available?
Is there anyone else here in person that would like to comment on the proposed service changes? Going once? Ricky is not coming up to comment on the proposed changes. He's just getting ready for the next phase. Going twice? Closed. The public hearing is closed. And again, the purpose of that is we're recording all those comments. I'll provide some insight because there were some questions about driver and coach availability, but I'm going to let Ricky get through his camera stuff first. Then I'll make some comments before we open it up for community input meeting comments. And then we'll see where the night takes us. Here's Ricky.
Hello, everyone. Hi, can you hear me?
Loud clear.
How are we doing online? Okay, sounds good.
If anybody needs these 7-day passes to go home, bus tickets, I gotta help them with always. We might need bus tickets to go home, and those somebody needs them. I got some 7-day passes.
All right.
They're free.
Okay, we're ready to roll. All right. So the first slide is your safety matters. I think we got to go to the next slide there. There we go. So today I'm presenting a public notice of proposed surveillance technology deployment. We as DDOT, in accordance with the Community Input Over Government Surveillance, the CIOGS ordinance, which is Municipal Code 17-5451 to 17-459, we are providing a public notice of this intent to deploy a digital video surveillance system on our fixed route bus fleet. So, a formal surveillance technology specification report, an STSR, has been submitted to the Detroit City Council and is now available for public review at the city's transparency portal, which is a city CIOG spec reports and documents. We are the third one from the top. You'll see in that section. Just to give, next slide, please. Just to give a technology summary, this is the same as what we have now, a multi-camera video system with GPS, LTE, and Wi-Fi capability. It's audio capture for incident verification. It's secure encrypted storage with only role-based access. activatable event tagging for security and safety incidents. It does not use facial recognition. It does not target individuals or groups. It's only used to support public safety and incident investigation. And the access, again, is strictly role-based and logged. So we wanted to make mention that we will be having a public comment. So any community members are encouraged to review the STSR, including if you'd like a copy of it here, I brought a few, and submit comments, concerns, or questions by emailing the address that you see there, which is d.civilrights@Detroit, Michigan, DetroitMI.gov, or by sharing your comments today. That's it.
There's a hearing that will be scheduled with city council. Okay. Is that right?
You mentioned that too. Yeah.
So just to mention on top of that too, so the report's available online. There's the official ways to provide comment. The final process of this, again, this is all consistent with the ordinance that Ricky mentioned, is that council will hold the penultimate step is council will hold an official public hearing about this project at a date to be specified in the future. And that'll be the last step. Based on input there, then we'd be able to continue with the contract for replacing the camera system on the buses. So just to kind of frame where we are in this step, there will be another chance at council to provide comments. But I would encourage everyone, if you're interested in this, Ricky's got a few copies, but it's also available online for your perusal. Are we ready to move on?
This is gonna
And
be.
to specify, these are comments specifically about the camera system. We're just gonna move into the community input meeting. As part of okay, so for those of you online or in person who didn't hear, so we're gonna move now into step 3, which will be, we're gonna open up for community input comments like we have traditionally done online. If you have questions or comments about the camera system, anything's fair game. So if you had questions or comments about Ricky's presentation about the camera system, certainly you can bring those up as part of your comments. I'll say before we open it up for comments, I'll say just a little bit about the comments or questions or feedback we had about driver and coach availability. These are really good questions. And I would say as someone who's had 15 years experience in the transit industry, we want to provide the most reliable, but also the most impactful services possible. So there's always a give and take between, two different give and takes. One is that the service you have out there and your ability to increase it, you're always going to be kind of bouncing back and forth between having too many drivers or too many buses. Because you don't want to have twice as many drivers as buses. So you're always kind of trying to climb that ladder, and you're going to be bouncing back and forth because buses take a long time to procure and drivers take a long time to train and to retain. So there's always going to be that back and forth. Even when we've got all the buses and drivers we need available, that's going to be our limiting factor climbing up. Heading into the June service change, because we have all of these, you can see right now it's July and we're talking about September service change. There's a couple of months of steps that we have to take if we're going to make changes. And so when we were heading into the June, we had to make that call. Do we think our trajectory of buses and drivers is going to be good for June for us to meet this 5% increase? We thought the answer was yes. Right after we made that call and put that in motion is when we had a couple of weeks where we lost a lot of buses off the road and we haven't recovered. And so that was like, again, this is people who have heard me talk, is full transparency. Like, this is what's going on. We know how bad the service is right now, and it's something we work at every day because we know how it impacts people. So that was our judgment call, is we were looking like we were on track. We even had like, okay, yeah, we're going to be able to add more and more buses. We good for June, strong through the summer. And then the bottom fell out once we had to put those in motion already, because you have to design the routes. You have to have the drivers have the opportunity to pick that work, to pick their new schedule. We have to get the marketing materials ready. So there's a good month plus before the changes come into effect where it's kind of a go or no go call. So we made it. Ideally right now we'd be saying, hey, these June changes are in good shape. So we're in good shape for the September changes. Today, I can tell you that's not the case.
But because we have these steps in motion, we want to continue the review process and public hearing for this. If some way in the next, in the next 4 weeks, if somehow magically we're ahead of schedule, which we are not going to be, then we could make the decision to put these in effect September 1st, but that's very unlikely. So what we'll do is we'll continue the current schedule that started in June. And as we've got a path of getting more buses, we continue to have driver classes every month. So we have the funding that's there. That's the funding is not the issue. It's a matter of continuing to work on improving the bus reliability, the maintenance. We did have HVAC becomes an issue when it gets hot. So we had for a couple of weeks, we had a bunch of buses that didn't have the air conditioning. We've resolved that issue, but now we're on to other mechanical issues and we're working to get those issues resolved. And for drivers, we continue to have classes every month, but just as with every transit agency, the turnover is pretty high. So if we start with a class of 30 or 40, 20 of those might graduate. And along the way, you're having people that either have other jobs that they've gotten once they start, or they find out that the schedule and the demands are not for them. So it's a pretty high turnover rate in transit in general, but we've been over the last year, we have net increased over 100 drivers. That's a big deal. We're working every month to try to keep that momentum up. So we're trying to climb those numbers up as you go. We have had a setback here with the June service changes. And so that's why you're seeing the service is not as reliable as we would like. And I've said since the day I started, you want to make sure you're reliable. But we also want to keep increasing service because we know more service is what we need. So that's just always that give and take. Right now, we got a rough patch, but we've got steps to moving forward and to make sure we can be ready to increase service in the future too. So just general comments, because you're thinking like you're part of the transit team now, because that's the kind of stuff that we're thinking through every day. Yeah. Oh, no. Well, I mean, I can't say for sure because I can't get inside the mind of every driver, but we do know that drivers, the question was, an earlier comment was, did the assaults make any drivers leave and contribute to the problem? And the short answer is no, not that we know of. Chief Bedison and the DDOT management has spent time meeting with the drivers, like the morning right after the last assault happened, meeting with the drivers, looking at ways we can help to continue to focus on their safety and also the safety of the passengers. So it's something that we're working on every day. And that's really, that's our job. That's why I say, I'll get off my soapbox in a sec, but the management team, looking at my other deputy director here, our management team, we're the support system for the drivers and the mechanics, right? If there's no drivers, there's no mechanics, then there's nothing for us to support. And so that is our job, to make sure that they feel supported, that we hear what they need, and we do our best to give them the tools to succeed and make sure they get home safe at the end of every day. So are we ready? Okay, so now we're going to move into the hybrid community input meeting. What are the rules for that? Okay, the same 2-minute window. If we get to the end of that and it's still light out or anyone's willing to stay, we'll go back again if anyone wants to add to their 2 minutes of comments. But to make sure everyone can get in here timely, we'll do 2 minutes a person. We're going to start online and then we'll move to people that are here in person.
Yep.
Kristen's going to stay muted and use the mic.
Yes, hopefully this works. The first hand up is Renard.
We in office.
Hi, good afternoon. I wanted to also ask for permission if my other team member can go right after me, please.
Yes, that would be fine.
I'll be quick. Regarding the camera system, my name is Renard Mashensky. I'm the organizer with the Detroit People's Platform. Normally, our organization is critical of surveillance systems, but however, with recent incidents, our system deserves really clear, high-definition cameras that can be seen. So if someone is assaulted, the case or whatever is accurately, judged on because the cameras are clear. Often when we have incidents, it's fuzzy, there's lack of information, or lack of anything. But I want to say, in terms of the camera system, we support the limitations in terms of the fact that it will not be used for racial profiling or facial recognition. And it does have a process where the videos are logged, and then if there's someone accessing the videos, that is logged as well too. So what official is accessing the cameras, they will be logged and it will be time stamped. Also, it seems with the proposal that they are trying to comply with Title VI of the 1964 Civil Rights Act and also the American Disabilities Act. Because when we make a complaint on the buses, we deserve to have a very clear image and evidence that the department and that the person can review if there is a case. And the other thing is too that the department should update the public, including the city council, on the effectiveness of this camera system. The only concern I do have is that if it is audio monitored, how long the audio will be retained for. And we hope that people are not getting in trouble for constitutional free speech. And if there are threats or other stuff, of course, that's an issue, but we don't want people to feel like they can't speak their mind freely. That concludes my comment on this camera issue. Otherwise, I do appreciate the department for being transparent in this, but we should get the information more out to the public so that people that are not connected to the phones and the online systems that Detroit have and DDOT have, that the regular everyday public can comment on this as well. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Rochelle Stewart, leader with Detroit People's Platform Transit Team. I wanted to say, please clean up that Rosa Parks Transit Center. I'm saying it all the time. It looks really bad down there, but whatever you can do, please scrub the sidewalks, clean it up. It's a mess down there. But I agree with Renard with everything that's going on with the camera systems, the changes. Hopefully, what I would like to ask, and maybe you can answer it sometime during this meeting, how many buses do you have coming online? And do you think you will achieve at least 70% buses to have service, at least have some kind of decent service once these changes come in effect? I'm hoping that the government will give you some money, but you know, the federal changes that's going on, some of this money that we should be getting is not going to come in. And what do you have in store to replace the money that's not going to come in? You know, like I said, you know, that $16 million that you turned down, Mr. Kramer, really could have came in handy, knowing that this federal government is trimming down on transportation and infrastructure and stuff. So please let me know if you're gonna try to clean up that Rosa Parks Transit Center, because that's one of the things I'm really avid about, and getting enough buses to keep this system running the way it should, at least as much as it is now. Thank you.
Thank you, Renard and Rochelle. Just a couple of quick comments. So, no, I got it. The audio question. So the cameras do have higher resolution, which is part of the reason why we're replacing them. And the audio is paired with the video. So whatever the rules we use for reviewing and logging, the audio goes with the video that it's attached to. It is not a separate system. It doesn't do any separate monitoring or anything like that. So I just wanted to clarify those two things. For the bus availability, right now on a bad day, we're still over 80%. And so yes, we have a track both with replacing bus or with reactivating buses that need repairs, plus the we've started receiving our brand new 45 new flyer new buses. Between now and the end of the year, we're getting 45. We've got 7 of those are on city property, but there is a process that we have to go through where we're basically checking.
Yeah, they turned it off, but the chat's still active though.
We're checking new flyers work. We're having them repair issues, just like if you buy a house, you've got an inspector that comes in and you kind of work through those things. There's a period where you have to do that. Then we're outfitting them with the camera and farebox systems and putting them out on the road. So we're still working on that, but those should be coming out a couple every few weeks once we get the process rolling. And between that and repairing the buses that are down, we have, like I said, we have a path to increase our buses. And then for Rosa Parks, duly noted, we've got some short and longer term plans to spruce up and improve the atmosphere and the feeling, but also the cleanliness of Rosa Parks, because we really think that this and Jason Hargrove are very important assets to the city, especially to transit riders. Did I cover
Everything, team says thumbs up. Okay, back to the program.
Corey, I saw you had your hand up. Did you have something to add?
I just wanted to piggyback on what Mr. Renard said. He is spot on. That was a part of the specs, and everything that he described is everything that we led with based on those conversations leading to that RFP for the camera project.
Thanks, Corey.
Okay, great. Thank you. The next hand up is Ms. Marguerite.
Yes. Thank you. We are still having problems with drivers not pulling in close to the curb because they are afraid to pull in and can't get out because of the car was still preventing them from pulling close to the curb. But there are drivers who will not put in close to the curb if they do not see anybody that uses a mobility device or a wheelchair or walker. Because I've been riding city buses since I was 12 years old, and that would take you way back in the 60s. So, my biggest concern is how can we get these buses that are not showing up because they have broken down, and I got an idea that might be able to stop that problem. Let's say we use the same text message that the city uses to send out notices. When there is a bus that is built down, and especially when it is on the weekend, all we have to do is to find a software that will connect the dots when the buses break down, and then we can look at our text message that is sent by the city to notify the public when there is a breakdown bus that will not be coming on time, but The next bus will be coming in about 15 to 20 minutes later. But sometimes drivers will not take the same route. If they are late. I'm done. Thank you.
Thanks, Marguerite. And I think that's something we'll certainly discuss more with our partners at other city departments to see how we could maybe link the text notifications. I think that's a great idea. And thanks for the comment.
Thank you.
The next hand up is Stephen.
Stephen, you're muted if you're trying to talk, but Stephen is next up.
Can you hear me?
Yep, there you go.
All right. I just have a question and a comment. I put the comment first. Like arriving on time for the buses should be the number one goal from the start. I mean, right now, Detroit has one of the worst bus systems in the Midwest, the worst bus system in the Midwest, and one of the worst in the nation, if not the worst. So the bus routes being on time should be the number one goal. Until they're like 95% on time arrival, why would you expand or increase service when you're not even meeting the current service across the board? So are you matching the best drivers with the hardest routes is the question. I think a lot of the violence and frustration from the community comes from, especially you see a spike because it's hot outside and no buses are coming. So how are you monitoring and managing these bus drivers to make sure that they're on time? You know, you can have a lot of operating buses, but they're not on time. People can't plan trips. People can't get to work. People can't make their connections. You, Mr. Kramer, your background is with the SMART system. They run on time most of the time. What is the difference? You should be able to link those two before you make any expansion. You have to get what's right, what's basic done first before you go advanced. That's my comment.
Thank you. And agreed. Earlier this year, before we made our first expansion, we were getting close to 85% on time, which is a pretty good industry standard. I think would be on par with SMART. Since then, we've regressed, and having buses missing makes it even harder because then you don't have any, you have buses that are missing as well. So yes, that is a very fair comment and something that we're focused on. And as far as the drivers go, there is a contractual process for the drivers to pick their work based on seniority. So that's a process we can't interfere with, but based on comments from riders and road supervision on the road and observations from Central, we do try to seize on every opportunity we can for additional training and information so that they can understand the importance of being on time and make sure that they can be safe and on time. So thank you for the comment. Just wanted to add those responses. Next up is
Lewin, yours is the next hand up. Okay, Lewin. Oh, there you go. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to unmute the mic. I was just gonna run through some stuff. I've been taking notes. Um, I was gonna say something about the amount of coaches available. You guys say it's still over 80%, so you know that's good enough for me right now. Uh, yeah, the transit center itself, Rosa Parks specifically, does kind of need to, I want to say, be cleaned every once in a while, more frequently. Buses as well. We would need like maybe seats, benches, just to be, brainstorming stuff that I've seen. Garbage cans would be nice. New benches. Yeah, and some type of app, like maybe the Uber app, so that you can see the bus on the map heading towards you, along with another bus, maybe. Um, and that's it for right now. That's it for right now. Thank you.
Thank you. And I can say those are all things that we're working on. So we agree with your priorities.
Josh, you're next. Josh?
Hello.
The next,
Hello.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was using the wrong microphone. Hi, I just had a comment about the camera system or kind of a question. So, I understand that there isn't necessarily like a new system, or this is a new system. I'm not sure how different it was from the last system, but is there some way to prevent, like, so I know there's role-based security. Is there some way to prevent this video footage from being used for like incident related reasons? I'm specifically concerned with the stuff happening at the federal level with immigration enforcement and stuff. So I'm just wondering, is there a way that the cameras are secured to only be used for incidents that happen on DDOT buses, like actual incidents, so not like just like surveillance? So I have surveillance concerns about cameras in general, but I understand that they're not a new thing. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Good question. So yeah, it's a replacement system. So it'll have high resolution cameras, and more storage space, but it's basically the same idea that we had before. The rules we have in place right now are that the video footage can be reviewed and used related to a specific incident or complaint. And so that's the way that we handle it right now. And then, as you mentioned, there's role-based security. So basically, if only people who are supposed to have access to it have it, and when they access it, it is logged to say, Mr. Kramer looked at this video at this time, and that's how we keep track of and control the files and the access to them. But that's the way that we use them, is if there is a complaint or an accident, incident, something like that, that's our trigger to use it. We cannot randomly just say, hey, we're going to go, look at this bus and pull up the footage, and then we catch the driver doing something or anything along those lines. This is strictly could be used for, incidents or accidents.
Okay, that actually covers a question I was going to ask anyway, so thank you.
Okay, great. Is that complete your comments? We can move on?
Yeah, that was it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Call-in user 1, you're next.
Can I be heard?
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Kramer, on Washington Boulevard at the corner of Michigan, the grounds is not being properly hosed down, and really hot days, it's extremely foul odor where it smells of loud urine. And the address that you want to look at is 1055 Washington, which is right across the street from the Rosa Parks Transit Center. You need to start having that new stop washed down. Also on Linwood and West Grand Boulevard, where it used to be Valero, it's now a Marathon gas station. That glass shuttle has been shattered and busted out. I've been telling customer service and nothing is being done about it. Finally, I was on the bus no more than almost a week ago on the 8th, and I seen a gentleman attack this lady with her children. We had to wait more than a good 25, 30 minutes just for DPD to come over. The lady was, really hurt and bleeding. And I'm disappointed that your officers said that they have no way of accessing the cameras on the bus to catch the gentleman because he was allowed to get away after assaulting that woman. And I feel very unsafe. I'd like for you to address what are you going to do to stop matters like that? And when are you going to increase service for Dexter and Linwood? And why not increase longer times for Linwood instead of having it to cut off at 8:50? Why not go to maybe 10:30, at least Monday through Saturday? Can you answer that for me, Mr. Kramer? When will you start making the cleanup for these transit bus stops downtown Detroit, because they're not being kept up? I appreciate the work that you're doing, Mr. Kramer. However, you can see it's a major difference versus SMART. You don't have this kind of problems with SMART. And I can say that because I utilize SMART 90% of the time. So please answer that, Mr. Kramer. Thank you.
Thank you. We've taken some notes. I will say that we are committed to improving safety for passengers and drivers. We work very closely with DPD to help assist in any way we can. If there's incidents where we can provide footage for them to review or access, we've been working really closely. Captain Dunbar is in charge of the transit unit of Detroit Police, and so he's a very close partner of ours, not only when it comes to incidents that we might have, but also if there's other things that they need to investigate. Certainly, we do everything we can to support them. So we'll follow back up with them and make sure we're doing everything we can there, and also get onto those two areas that you noted in particular, which I know had been emailed, I believe yesterday as well. And so we'll be looking to make sure we can clean those up as soon as possible if they haven't already been addressed.
They haven't been addressed, just so you know. As I'm looking at it right now, it's glass all over the ground. This is unsafe for children. And I mean, it's bad. At Linwood and West Grand Boulevard, this is a safety hazard. I don't think you should have ever placed glass bus shelters in some of these neighborhoods, because it's a high crime and people just look to vandalize. Unfortunately, if it was metal, something that they couldn't destroy, that would have been a better option.
Ma'am, we have someone on the line who can address that. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Hi. Excuse me. Hi. Thank you for letting us know about that. We did put in a ticket for the Linwood and West Grand Boulevard bus shelter glass being broken. We'll have that cleaned up ASAP. I'll call our team to make sure they make it an emergent response. With the cleaning on the Washington and Michigan bus shelter, I don't think we had heard that yet. So thank you for letting us know. We'll make sure that someone gets out there tomorrow and cleans it.
Thank you, Jonathan. Patty, your hand is the next one up.
Hi, yeah, this is Patty Fedewa. And I was really hoping that maybe we wouldn't have a summer slump, but we are. Service has been really lousy. One of the things I'm very concerned about is I like to take the bus, particularly the Van Dyke Lafayette and sometimes the Jefferson, between like 7 and 7:15 in the morning. And you've been skipping the bus that comes at about 7:13, and I'm talking about, the Van Dyke and Jefferson area. And it keeps making me late for work. Sometimes I try to take the Jefferson, but sometimes it'll be at least 20 minutes between buses in the morning. This is really getting old. I'm so sick of summer service falling. We don't have enough service the way it is. We really don't need it to get worse. And just please take care of it. And I know a lot of it is because you don't have the staff, but that's something the mayor can take care of immediately. I don't know why you don't already have a contract. The mayor always said he would meet Smart's wages. It's just really getting ridiculous. We tried to give you more money. We were indicated that that wasn't necessary. And now we're stuck with the same mess all over again. I know some of these things you don't have control of, and I'm going to write a letter to the mayor complaining about it because he's still not riding the bus or taking DDOT seriously. And the tracker sometimes will show that a bus is coming, and then all of a sudden it goes away and it's gone. And I'm really getting irritated with that. It used to be much more reliable, and you still haven't cleaned up State Fair. In terms of the routing, it still takes way too long to get through there, particularly for smart buses. And finally, we need an open system for fare so people can just use a credit card. I know that's a lot, but this is just really getting annoying. Thank you.
Thanks, Patty, and all your comments are certainly valid. The one that is easiest to address is that we are hopefully close to having a new fare system, and that will allow us to have any way people are able to pay anywhere they'll be able to pay, and also opportunities for other more creative ways for passes and value for customers as well. But all your other comments are definitely heard.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Patty. The next hand up is the number ending in 577, and I want to point out that we do have people wanting to make comments in person, so we're going to limit the online to one only at the moment. So 577.
Hi, my name is Duran Young, and I work at Henry Ford Hospital. I've been working here for 15 years. I've been catching the Dexter bus for 15 years. I get off work at 11 o'clock every night and go all the way to the very end of the stop at Northland. I don't agree with the changes that was made where now instead of me having one bus to catch to Northland where I'm a block away from there to get home, now I got to catch two buses to get home, and it's very inconvenient, and sometimes the buses don't come. So, for example, this Monday, the bus didn't show up. This Tuesday, the bus didn't show up. This Wednesday, the bus didn't show up. I don't know if the bus gonna show up tonight or not. I work 6 days a week. Now imagine if the bus ain't showing up and what I gotta do. I gotta catch the Lyft or Uber. Now imagine how much that costing me from the Lodge Freeway and West Grand Boulevard all the way to the very end of the stop, which is Northland. I'm pretty much the last person on that bus, and I've been doing this for 15 years. I know the Dexter bus like the back of my hand. I don't understand why y'all changed it, and now y'all got it going to Myers. Myers closed at 11 o'clock at night. I know about that. So I don't understand. It's co-workers of mine get off on 7 Mile, 8 Mile Road. Now they got to make other changes as far as catching a Lyft, catching a Uber. So I don't understand that why those changes been made. And lastly, I've been at the bus stop several times, right at the bus stop by myself. The bus driver will ride right past me. I'm waving my hand. The bus ain't even full. It's like a little few people up in the front. The middle all the way to the back is not full. He just ride right past me, then go down a block from me or a block and a half, and my coworkers, they at that stop, he picked them up, let somebody off the bus, and I got to wind up catching a Lyft again. So that's something y'all need to definitely take care of with this Dexter route, because it's terrible, you know. And like I said, I've been catching this bus for the last 15 years. I'm out there, so I know about the Dexter bus. And like I said, for the last 3 nights, the bus ain't even showed up. One or two of them go downtown, but the one that's supposed to be picking me up never showed up for 3 days in a row. That don't make no sense.
Thank you, sir. If comments received about the Dexter route
if you haven't already, please, anytime a driver passes you up, please let customer service know. That is something above all else we take very seriously, but thank you.
Danny, yours is the next hand up.
Hello, Danny Reb here. So someone else had commented and you guys replied using the DDOT Bus Tracker app. I use the DDOT Bus Tracker app on my Android phone, which is about 2 years old, so my Droid version is current, and it does not work. If I go in under real time to see the map, I see where the routes are highlighted that I've selected, but there are no icons for buses there anymore. It stopped working about 3 weeks ago. I called DDOT customer service and that person said, well, I can see it on the website. If you get to it through the website, that does me no good. Okay. That something was also mentioned that this app is handled through a contractor, a third party or something. I'd like to strongly suggest that DDOT get with that contractor to look at this issue and then push out an update to the app. Thank you.
Thank you for the comment. Will do.
Phone number ending in 169.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to say thank you all for praying for Brother Cunningham. I got the information for this meeting from his Facebook page. Everybody should check out his Facebook page and see all the people he blesses. He blesses every day and all day. Also on his Facebook page, there's an article by Bridge, Michigan. Everybody Google Bridge, Michigan, Cunningham, and check it out. He helps people apply for the Metro Lift and a lot more. You all that make all that money, upper management of DDOT, it seems like he runs circle around you, and y'all the ones that's getting paid for it.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna switch to in-person, right?
Yep.
We're gonna switch to in-person comments. If you want to come to the microphone.
Wait,
I'm gonna ask these ladies here first. Do either of you want to come up and make comment? Hold on. Here, I'll bring the mic to you. Hold on. Okay, here's the comment.
I don't know about anybody else, but I ride the bus a lot. I've had no problems. I have the app. The app generally let me know to be there 5 minutes before, before the bus is actually supposed to be there. They usually show up pretty well. That Jefferson bus, man, it's on spot because every 10 minutes that bus is coming. The Grassy bus is pretty good. Grand River, pretty good. Woodward, on spot, is always there when I don't know, I guess it's the time that I use the bus does me very, very well. That's all I have to say.
You've got a positive transit aura. That's it. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Feel free to come up to the microphone for in-person comments. 2 minutes, state your name. I'm stalling for you to come up, Mr. Batterman. There you go.
Good evening. My name is Joel Batterman. I work for Transportation Riders United, TRUE, which advocates for better public transit in the city and region. And I guess I'm wondering, how the situation with the shortage of buses, how it got so bad so quickly. Is this a issue of deferred maintenance? Is it just that, the buses are reaching the end of their useful life? You said 40 buses in 2 weeks, I think, which is, that's pretty bad. So I'm just curious, how that happened and what can be done to prevent that happening again.
Thanks for the comment. So. Sorry. It's a combination. So the warm weather kind of brings out issues, engine, transmissions, brakes, air conditioning. So all of those things kind of just piled up. We've been working through them. But we do have a number of our 2012 model year buses are the ones that are going to be replaced this year by the 45 new hybrids. Obviously, those are the ones that are the most problematic because they're actually past their useful life. They're about 13 years old now.
And then we've got model year 14s and 15s, which are also pretty old as well. So there's no real one answer to that question. I wish there was, because then it would be easier to fix it. But it's really just a matter of all of that. Really, again, we were going very smoothly till we got to that period. The weather started to warm up and we had above more than we expected for issues. But I think the one specific thing we've done is we actually had a HVAC vendor on site that did some extra training. So we got some more technicians that are able to do HVAC training. And looking ahead, we've got a couple of hybrids in the fleet, but given that all of our 45 new buses this year, and then if our grants hold for next year, we'll have another 40 or more than that hybrids. So we're going to be doing some train the trainer and really increasing our technical capabilities related to hybrids, because not only is it a diesel bus, but it also has a high voltage electrical system as well. So those are the kind of things we're thinking ahead and working on, really increasing the technical capabilities. We've got our mechanic positions are mostly filled. 2 years ago, it was only about 50% filled. So good news is we've got the position filled. The more challenging part of that is that means that half of our staff have been here 2 years or less. And so that's part of the challenge. You could be a very good mechanic, but if you haven't had experience with heavy diesel work, sometimes even just that or the hybrids or whatever provides extra training that's needed. So all of those things are both challenges and solutions. Yeah. Okay. Who's next?
Anybody else?
You want the last word? The mic, we need the mic because there's people listening online. So that's the only reason why. Brother Cunningham's going to come up. He's taking your offer of you have the last word. And I think Mr. Pulowski wants to go as well. Sir.
I heard a lot of new voices today. That was really, really good. Miss Alabama, whoever, but it's a lot of new voices that came today. That was good. Miss Jackson, we did a ride along with her, and she works for the African American Museum. Is there any way that we could sit down and take a bite to eat and just talk about what she said she wants to talk to her supervisor about it? I think that'll be really, really nice, what she's thinking of. Also, thanks for taking those bus tickets. If anybody else needs any bus tickets, these came from Mary Sheffield's office. And I appreciate, a long time ago, I was making my own flyers. I was buying my own bus tickets. And now God provided people to help me do that for people. And got us a good director. The $16 million hurt that issue, but I've known you a long time. You've always been nice to me, and I appreciate that. I also think there should be ambassadors that go down the lines where there's going to be changes, where there's going to be changes, because this is like tentative, this one. But laminated signs on the poles and going down, up and down that route. And some people ain't got nothing to do. They'll take a gas card, Myers card, something like that. I think that will be beneficial. I canvassed before, give out ice water and give out flyers. Mr. Pulowski and Lucas, they did when I couldn't make it. They were doing it today, ice water, and that was appreciative. If anybody wants to canvass, my hotline number is 313-444-9114, 313-444-9114, 313-444-9114. That number was made that you can remember it. And that's also my Cash App. So I appreciate it. I'm glad I got the candidate Hoggabook to come. So she's concerned, and that's good that the ride-alongs are working. So thank you so much, Mr. Kramer, and thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Anybody else?
You guys are going to arm wrestle for who's going to go last, apparently. Well, so when you work your way up, I was going to say something about what Cunningham said. Oh, we are working on adding ambassadors for many roles, including helping at the transit centers and helping with notifying people of changes. So agreed with that. We're working on it. Okay.
My turn? Yes.
I'm going to use my polite words. My name is Chef Rob. I have lived here my entire life, over 30 years. I'm only here today because of the people, the human beings, not the bureaucrats, not the pencil pushers, the bus drivers who helped me when I was being bullied, when I didn't have any money to my name, when I couldn't afford a pass, where I didn't know where I was going on the route. This ain't got nothing to do with money. At some point, this is all excuses for poor management. Money talks and BS walks on a tightrope is what we say where I'm from. So if you want to talk numbers, let's get some numbers. My name is Chef Rob. I run a group called DTAC, Detroit Tactical or Developing Ties and Advocating for the Community. I represent over 13,864 people, and that was 45 minutes ago, so it's probably more and counting. The people who can't be here or don't want to be here, the people who are returning citizens, the people who have missed their buses and are working 3-4 jobs, the people who put up with a lot of BS from this city, the people who ain't got time to sit around with flyers and camera equipment and all this stuff because they got stuff to do. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Look up my complaints just in the last couple months. I got all the numbers. I left my info with them. Somebody can figure it out. Pull up my file, 313-247-3156. I've had the same phone number since the 3rd grade. You can look me up. This is a human problem. Why do you all have all these new people in the last 2 years? I don't know. Maybe you pushed out the good drivers. Take it personally or not. I really don't care. Maybe you are mass hiring people and this is just a job, a job. Where I come from, that means just offering BS. Where I come from, driving the bus was a calling to serve your community. Why am I constantly seeing on these buses recently drivers blowing past people, me, somebody who after leaving the Durfee Innovation Center on Wednesday, waited for a Finkel bus at 14 in Calvert for over an hour and a half. I got soaked. I had to take my socks off. I have back problems. I walk over 80 miles a week. I have knee problems. I walk over 80 miles a week. I bike over 400 miles a week until my bike got stolen. So while I'm waiting for that bus, one finally shows up. And the bus driver just pulls up close to me, gets real close. He's clearly running the route. There's people on there. Looks at me, decides maybe I scared the bejesus out of him. Maybe it's because I'm built like King Kong's little brother or something. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was putting on my shoes and waving at him to stop. But he rolled right through. This was between 2 and 3 p.m. The Finkel bus number 2310, heading back to the transit center. They probably got back to the transit center before 3 p.m. Who's accountable for these drivers' behavior? Who are you hiring? Do you know who you're hiring? Because I'm going to tell you, when bus drivers blow past people, when people cannot get to their jobs, when people cannot do what they need to do to survive, they start taking. I have over 1,284 incidents in the last 4 months collected from people who were screwed over. Bus drivers out of their effing mind with the way that they're driving and the way that they're talking to people. This is still Detroit, y'all. This is still Detroit. I don't care if you call it Midtown East Cast Corridor to me. You don't know who's lurking. You don't know who's watching. These drivers, the way they talk, at some point they got to get off the bus. And anybody I'm not talking about gun violence. I'm not talking about killing anybody. I'm talking about something deeper and spiritual. I'm talking about karma. So while these bus drivers are playing God and fast and loose, just like we are in the bus driver's hands, tell me how much time I got. Just like we are in the bus driver's hands, the bus drivers' lives are in our hands. There's way more of us on the bus than them. And at some point, you got to get off that bus. Now, I'm not saying that that's what people are doing. I can't prove that. I don't need to prove it. But who are you hiring? What is their background? Why are they bouncing around jobs so much? When's the last time they've done a psych eval? They're driving something that can kill people. When's the last time, do you know, I helped found the communicative neuroscience at U of M in the fall of 2010, my freshman semester. That's just a fancy way of saying it's not nature versus nurture, it's nature and nurture. One hand washes the other. And I'll leave it at this. If we want to talk numbers, why did buses not get ordered for years? Who's responsible for that? It's not about how much money you have, it's about what you do with it. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I can't follow that. I yield my time.
Thank you. For the record, Robert Plowski, ROBERT, last name PAWLOWSKI. I'm going to try not to cry when I make this speech because I never thought I'd be making it, but here I am. And I know you got a taste of it earlier today, Mr. Kramer. I've been an activist since I was in middle school and high school. And with great pleasure today, this is going to be my last DDOT community input meeting after all the years I've been coming. I'll still be around attending our advocates meetings, going to all the events you invite us at as us advocates. But as of fall, I'll be starting college at Oakland County Community College in Farmington Hills. It's a huge milestone. But I could go on and ramble all day on all the major progress from 3 executive directors, from Michael Staley to Michael Oglesby. Michael Staley, Michael Oglesby, God, that's so ironic. And then you, Mr. Kramer, that I've known the longest. I just want to give a big shout out and thank you to the DDOT staff and all the amazing work they do. They've sat there, they've listened to us, they've taken our concerns lightly, they've met with us every month, and they have kept their promises. And even when we're at tough times and at odds, whether it's about the metal detectors downstairs at our transit centers or misgaps in service, they've heard us. And we've still stuck by your side. And I'd also like to give a big shout out to my fellow advocates that have been there since day one, since I first started, mentoring me, guiding me, educating me to be able to become the activist I am, from Brother Cunningham to Lucas Lasecki to Megan Owens, and also you, Mr. Kramer. You've been a huge mentor to not just myself, but a lot of different people. It's just not a goodbye. It's just a small retirement. As I always keep saying to people, you got to make positive strides for yourself to make more positive strides for everybody else and the people that are around you. It's called power to the people. I appreciate everyone here and the amazing work they've done. And like I said, I'm not going silent. I'll still be around. But I am truly grateful for everybody in this room that has stood there, made voices, made change, and stuck up for everyone around us, especially the staff and all of my advocates that have been by my side, friends for years. Thank you, and I'll see y'all here soon.
That concludes our public comment. Reminder that the next community input meeting will be the 3rd Thursday of September. And we have an upcoming local advisory council meeting on August 19th. And that will do it for tonight's meeting unless Okay, that'll do it for tonight's meeting. Thank you, everybody who attended in person. Thank you, everybody who attended online. And we'll see you later. Thank you.